Hello, welcome to Botlane Show, episode 11 with Jisp. I'm so excited for today's episode. This is Tori calling in, and I have Jisp on the line.
Hi,
For
everybody.
those of you who don't know, Jisp is eighth on the most recent CLM PR, and also PR'd on Wisconsin Melee, Wisconsin PM, and Illinois PM. So we've
Quadruple
got a very,
Crown, exclusive
yeah, that's
club, only
incredible.
only member me.
Oh, really? Is that
Yeah,
true?
yeah, that's
Wow.
well. There's some people who probably deserved to have that. Oh, by some people I mean like one person. Uh, that being Chris O'Reilly. Uh, but I'm the only person to have ever held all four of those, which is funny. It's not like a crazy achievement, but it is what it to me it's symbolic of like how much work I've done, like uh the amount of time I've spent like driving to Chicago.
Yeah, seriously. Because Maya, or sorry, Nicolette said that you're from Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, I was born in Milwaukee. I've lived my whole life in Milwaukee. I've never lived anywhere else.
Got it. So how often are you making the trip into Chicago for all these CLM tournaments then?
Well, so it depends on the time frame. Um, right now, there's obviously only one tournament, but I also like most of. I have a lot of friends at home, but I also like a large portion of my friends live in Chicago, obviously. So like I went and saw. I went to the Regal Theater on Western Avenue a couple days ago. Just no tournament. Just went to see Ponyo with some friends.
Oh.
So like, I would say that I'm driving down to Chicago for a tournament about once a week, and then like we can add like maybe a half in there for when I go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then during some like peak grinding times of my life, I've gone down to a CLM weekly like 2 to 3 times a week,
Wow. That's
which is
commitment.
yeah. It's a lot of driving, but I don't know. It's like it sounds like a lot, but also like 80 miles is really not very far.
You're saying that to someone who literally does not even have a driver's license.
Hey,
Like
you
that sounds
know.
incredible.
Well, it's only an hour and a half even if you don't have a driver's license.
That's
We
true.
got
That's
we
true.
got
You could
these,
take the
these
train.
beautiful trains. If we had like modern train infrastructure, it would take like a half hour.
That's true. Big beautiful trains. We could
Beautiful bullet train. Yeah.
a big beautiful bullet train.
That's actually something I dream about like constantly. I'm
Oh,
like
I'm sure.
if I could get to Chicago in like 25 minutes, oh my god, my life would be so much more simple. I wouldn't even
Well,
need a
yeah,
car.
that would be a game changer, I imagine.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, could you, I guess, tell me a little bit about yourself and maybe what's the story about behind your handle?
yeah. So Jisp is my name. Which if anybody who's like kind of old school will know that my old tag well, my first tag ever was a Fire Emblem character, which is just a wonderfully 17-year-old thing to do.
Hmm.
Uh, but I changed my tag a couple of years in to my initials, which is JSP. And my mother loves to like monogram things,
Hmm.
and she has like similar initials like KSP. So I remember she would always get me monograms, and she would always have monograms on like her bathrobe and like things like that. So I remember I have like a memory of being very young, and reading like the monogram phonetically.
Hmm.
Uh, and I was just like, I don't know, I came out as non-binary like 4 years ago, and I was like, well, I like identify with this sound that I've only really made in my head pretty heavily. And it's also like something that I'm kind of known as already, so I'm just gonna go with Jisp. And I liked it a lot, and I stuck with it.
That's so
And
unique. I love it.
yeah, I really like having made up my name. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's a very like individual thing. Whereas like I don't know that I uh, I love like all the there's a lot of really cool names out there, but this one is mine and it's very unique, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that very heavily.
Well, shout out
Um,
mom, who is a classy lady and got all the
yeah,
monograms.
yeah, she certainly likes to spend money on some interesting things.
I have a similar situation with my mom.
Yeah.
I understand. So how did you get into Melee then?
So when I was about 4 years old, I this would have been 2002. I was born in the 90s, at the very end of the 90s. Um, and I had one half of my family is from the suburbs of Chicago, and that's my mom's side of the family, and my dad's side of the family is from Kansas City, like 40 minutes east of Kansas City.
Okay.
So every July 4th, my dad's cousin, who lived on our family farm, was pyrotechnic. So he would put on a July 4th fireworks show, and we would go down for like a family gathering every year. And I had a cousin who was like 6 years older than me, something like that. And she showed me she had a GameCube and an N64 and had Smash on it. And this was like for years. This was like the thing I looked forward to every year. Was was going down to Missouri for July 4th and then playing Melee with my cousins. So eventually I had an N64 and I got my mom to buy me Smash 64 on eBay when I was like probably like 5 or 6.
Wow, you really
And
knew what
then
you wanted.
yeah. And then when I was like 8 or so, my uncle gave me his GameCube and a bunch of his
Huge.
video games. And my parents got me Melee for Christmas. And I played that a lot, and then eventually I got a Wii and I got Brawl, and then eventually I got a Wii U and I got Smash 4. So I've like grown up with Smash Brothers like my entire life. It's like one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite video game series of all time. So Smash 4 like got me competing with like my high school friends. Like because we were just like, I don't know, it was like popular to be like semi into competitive Smash Bros. When Smash 4 came out. And then I just like, I don't know, I had been talking about how like I entered some online Brawl tournaments with a friend like when I was a bit younger, but I'd always been talking about how like good I was at it, and like, you know, that's a pretty common thread, is that like you're the best player on your block or whatever. And eventually I just like finally it took me a really long time, but I was like 15 or 16 and I finally looked up like Smash Bros Championship, and I found the EVO 2014 Grand Finals, which was Mango versus Hungrybox. I was like, wow, look at this Hungrybox guy. He's super cool, and Fox is super lame. And I just like, I don't know, I'm a tad neurodivergent, as it were. So I just like, I kind of threw my whole self into this. Like I watched. There's the channel that those videos were on was called VG Bootcamp, and that was like where all of the Melee videos were at the time, and I watched every single video on that channel that had been uploaded, and if I had spare time, I was watching the game. If there's a 250-page guide for the character I play on Smashboards. I read the whole thing multiple times. My senior year of high school, I was taking 5 AP classes, which meant that I could take 2 study halls. So we had an upperclassman lounge in my high school that was like in the basement, and there was a CRT down there, and somebody brought their GameCube and left it there, and so I would bring my copy of Melee every day. And then I would have 2-hour-long study halls and then lunch. And so I would play the entire time, either with people or by myself, for 2.5 hours every day. And then I
Oh
would
my
go home
gosh.
and I would play for like 2 to 4 more hours by myself.
So at this point, were you just dunking on your cousins?
Yeah, well, I didn't really see them very much anymore. The July 4th celebrations kind of ended when I was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
Um, I actually recently saw that same cousin when I went to Fillerfest. I actually stayed with her in her house. And she was dating someone who tested early Project M builds, which is
Oh,
a funny coincidence. But
like I know a thing or
no,
two about that.
yeah, I mean, like people would like play me during the study halls. Like there was this one guy who like would play me almost every day, and then eventually he was just like, "This is too embarrassing. I have to stop." And I had no like theory of mind for like how interacting with a game socially works at the time. So I didn't know how to like hold back to keep people playing or like make it fun for somebody else, or like I was just trying to get as good as I could at Melee because I wanted to be as good as I could be at Melee. Because I don't know, there were a lot of things that I was like that I liked at the time, that I like had a lot of hobbies, I was in a lot of clubs. But this was the first thing that I found that I was like, oh, I really want to do this like for me. And so I like went kind of way too hard on it. Uh, but so that's kind of how I got my start. And then I went. There used to be a regional ran out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, which is like a western exurb of Milwaukee, like 20 minutes to the west. And there was a big regional there, and I went to that as my first tournament at the very end of 2015. And then after that, I started going to Construct, which is the local. That was my first local, and it's also the local I run now. It's one of the oldest locals that still runs in the country.
Yeah, Nicolette was saying it's 12 years running, and you inherited it
I
at some
did.
point as a TO. So yeah, can you tell me a little bit about the story?
Yeah, so basically, the people who came before me went under a couple of different identifiers. Milwaukee has had locals for a really long time, like a really long time. And I can't really speak to what happened before Construct, honestly, because I don't know the history. But like, people have been playing Melee in this city for a good long bit before I was here, and hopefully they'll be playing it for a good long bit after I'm gone. But the Construct started out of a improv comedy venue that's pretty famous in the city called Comedy Sports. And from there, it moved to a pool hall on the south side, which until a couple of years ago was the last time that the tournament was actually in the city limits of the city of Milwaukee. And then after that, it moved to a venue in St. Francis, which is which is one of the south side Lake Michigan shore suburbs. Where like the archdiocese is.
Mm.
Um, and it stayed in that venue until 2023. So it lasted a pretty long time. So what the big point of like how I got my start in TOing, I had no intentions ever to be a TO. Just putting that, I've talked to Nicolette about this in a group setting, but like I never wanted to be a TO. Like I had no intention to do so. In 2020, coincidentally, a couple weeks before everything closed, the old TO of Construct, part of the formerly Melee Milwaukee and then Event Horizon Gaming group, which was the big group that ran the stream and all the tournaments for Milwaukee. One of my mentors in the game and also TOing, John Money, came up to me at the last construct before everything closed down, and basically said, just like it was near the end of the day, and he just said with no like, there was no like build up. He just walked up to me and my friend Mark, and he said, "It's over. They're selling the venue." And we just like looked at each other and looked back to him, and we're like, "What? Huh?" Like, this is like all I've known for the past 4 years, really. And it, you know, it had existed for a while before I was even there. So he's basically like, yeah, they're selling the venue, like we can't run Construct anymore. And then we get hit with the double whammy, which is, okay, they're selling the venue and we had no advance warning. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happens.
Right, huge.
So yeah, so nobody's going to any locals, and then also our local is just not going to come back. Like, it's just not going to be there when we reopen. The local will not be there. So we're all like pretty demoralized, and we just kind of go for a year. I started the Wisconsin Melee / Project M Discord server during this time, because there was nothing else to do, and we needed to organize like net play in order to be able to play. My family is pretty old, and I have type 1 diabetes, so I dropped out of college during COVID, so I was doing absolutely nothing. And so I just I started this Discord server, and I was playing net play a lot, Melee and PM. And it got towards when the first vaccine came out, the first mRNA vaccine. And I got a DM from John Money, and it was a group chat of a bunch of different Milwaukee Melee people. And he was like, basically, okay, here's what's going to happen. I am going to run the first construct out of the pandemic. But then I am going to pass it on to any of you who are willing. And the only 2 people who lasted in that group, well, 3 people, but the only 3 people that lasted in that group chat were me, Mark Mock, who is my co-TO for Construct now, and Danny Phantom, who is the best player in Milwaukee, who has not done anything TO-wise. I love him to death, but he that's not really his thing. So I effectively kind of got press ganged into
servitude.
Yeah. I got like, if Milwaukee Melee was a pirate ship, I got pressed into service. And so we ended up contacting that old pool hall that the tournament used to be run out of, and we secured a deal where we would pay $100 flat venue fee to them, and we could run Construct there. So it was back at one of its old venues, and John ran the first one just like he said he would, and then he turned over the reins to Mark and I, and we've been doing it ever since. We ended up through actually a friend of mine from high school, someone I actually went to elementary school with, who joined the community in the 2020s. We ended up getting the venue that we had been in for basically 8 years back for a couple years, and then that ended up falling through, and now we are at the first location that's in the city of Milwaukee, like in downtown Milwaukee. The first local we've had in downtown Milwaukee, I think, ever. At the Hub on Farwell Avenue, and we've been there for 2 years. The last construct, which was last Sunday, was our 2-year anniversary. So we've been really enjoying working with them. They're super cool. They're the people that run C3, which is the big FGC tournament we have in Milwaukee at the Barrett Center.
What's FGC?
Fighting game community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the people who run like Street Fighter and Tekken and like Guilty Gear and like stuff like that. So yeah, we're with them. We couldn't be happier, and yeah, I've learned to love running locals, but
Oh yeah.
at the end of the day, like, and like helping with regionals and majors, like I love to be a help and to do things and to show up early and like all the things that entail like being a volunteer or being on the staff. But I didn't do it because I wanted to do it. I did it because I had to do it. My ethos is that I want to go to cool tournaments, and if me working on them facilitates them happening, then that's what I want to do.
It's a noble sacrifice.
It's not. That's the thing, is it's not always a sacrifice if you enjoy it, right? But like, I'm not doing it because I enjoy it. I'm doing it because I want the tournament to happen.
Yeah. So what different hats have you worn as like a tournament organizer or a volunteer? Do you like make graphics or things like that?
My whole thing is usually outreach and setup.
Okay.
I am good at like talking to people and advertising when I'm like pretty dedicated to it. And then I love being there early and getting all the TVs and Wii's situated. That's my favorite thing is like the before tournament, like getting all the equipment done. Like for Construct, I keep all of like almost all of the Wii's. I own 11 CRTs, which for someone in Chicago probably doesn't sound like that much. For the TOs, considering Kevin owns like 30 or whatever. But for a scene that ran off of attendee setups for however long, which is how pretty much every scene ran for forever, me having like 11 CRTs is a lot, especially given that we are a slightly smaller scene. Not slightly, like decently smaller scene than Chicago. But I love like equipment and setup and teardown. That's like my favorite thing.
Makes sense.
I've like dipped my hat into a lot of different things. I commentate. I do a lot of like top 8 commentary for regionals in the Midwest. Basically what I like to do is I like to do things that allow me to still be a player, if that makes any sense. So I like to be involved enough that I do something important and necessary, but also have little enough responsibility that I can be there to play.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess like what would you wish more people knew about TOing?
It's like pretty easy. Which is I think so. Like I remember Ashley said the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like not that hard. There's the things that are annoying are for sure tedious, and running a bigger thing requires a lot of logistics and delegation. But if you just want to run like a local, all you need is equipment and a basic understanding of a bracket software. And the bracket software, we all talk about how StartGG is a terrible website, and it is, but it isn't that difficult to use if you're just running a simple double elimination tournament. I think the main thing, the like stressful parts of TOing are less so to me the actual like running of the tournament. All of that is like, that's the fun part. Like that's the part that uses your like problem solving brain. The annoying parts are like the social aspect. So like dealing with conduct, dealing with like negotiating new venues.
Yeah.
Like if you lose your venue and you have to like go around and find a new venue, that can be kind of spooky. It's a lot of like, you kind of have to like treat it depending on how cool the venue's owners are. You have to kind of like treat it kind of like a business deal, even though it's like there's no money in this. Which can be a little bit if you're someone who doesn't really like to do like marketing tricks, what I would call at worst lying, and at best stretching the truth or lying by omission, it can be a little bit annoying to do that. I think, yeah, the worst part, the most annoying part about TOing is probably like losing the venue and having to find a new one, which is topical for Chicago right now because we just
Totally.
got the venue back, which is wonderful. I'm
Yay!
super excited.
Yeah, very exciting times for Chicago. Hopefully, yeah, we're gonna have a new era in Emporium. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I was wondering if it would like keep the, because that's actually something that's very interesting about the local that I run, is that it's been in like 4 or 5 different venues and we've kept the name. And that's because we've never, the name has never been named, the local has never been named after the venue. Right? But with something like Midlane, it's like, oh yeah, that's like where it was. Right? So you can't like, you have to come up with a new thing. And I suppose
That's
the natural
true.
thing is just to name it after the new venue. So
Melee Emporium or something.
yeah. It's exclamation point bracket, like the Twitch chat command at
Mhm.
Emporium.
Oh, okay.
Funny little name. Funny little name.
That is funny. What do you think makes like a good or a bad TO?
A good TO to me is someone who is like, I think it depends on what your goals are. Because like for someone like me, I just need to make sure that the people that come to my local are having a good time and that it runs well and that the venue's happy. But for someone like Kevin, who's running like bigger things and also running a local, it's all of that plus now you have to deal with things like insurance and you know, like things that are involved in like a bigger tournament. And I really think the biggest skill there is just delegation. Like even at the local level, like we have like a 4-person TO team, and we all have delegated tasks, and we all know our responsibilities, and we know them beforehand, and we do it every single time, and we do it without talking about it. And if there is something to talk about, we talk about it. But for something on a larger scale, it's the same skill, but just a lot more granular. And ultimately, being able to delegate those tasks is like what makes you like not just a good TO, but somebody who gets to do things other than TOing. Which is always nice if that's like your prerogative. Because some people just like to TO, and those people are strong warriors, and they make things happen, and they are indispensable. But it's kind of like it depends on how useful you want to make yourself, right? Because like I don't know, you've probably heard the concept of like in a career, like making yourself useful, and then all of a sudden everyone's
Right.
asking you to do things. It's kind of like that, but some people are willing to take on that responsibility. Like Nicolette is one of those people, and I respect her infinitely for that. So a lot of it is like, what are you willing to do? B, what are you willing to make other people do? And C, what kind of creative, like there's like the creative element, right? Like Nicolette makes like coded tools for things. Kevin is like innovating on like cruise formats. There's a lot of like small things you can do that make the tournament experience more fun, and that's I think the fun part. But the main skill, like that, like if I were to say like this makes you a good or a bad TO, the main skill is delegation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Do you have a TO that you aspire to be more like?
I honestly, like I used to get in my head about like, oh, I don't really like, you know, these other people are like doing so much. I'm very satisfied with where I am. But like if I were to think about like the people I respect the most in TOing, it would be Kevin, Nicolette, Jake, and Mock are like my the people around me that like are doing yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore. Ashley too, but I think she's like in a very similar mental position to me where she TOs because she wants the tournament to happen.
Right.
Whereas like people like Mock and Nicolette are like making, are like using their coding, like making coding tools. Jake is like Mr. Make It Happen, even if he can be kind of scatterbrained and disorganized at times. And then Kevin is just all around, like he knows how to. I think Kevin is like the venue negotiation greatest of all time. Like
Mm.
he is so good at getting a good deal out of like a college or a local venue or whatever. Like he's really really good at communicating with venues. Um, and like navigating kind of the more administrative parts of TOing,
Hmm.
which is like something I think I'm very good at talking to venues, but like I don't like the like busy work of like I would if somebody handed me like an insurance form, I would be like, can somebody else do this?
Right.
So uh I like there's a lot of like TO traits I respect, but I primarily want to like I don't know. I described to you earlier like how obsessive I was about Melee when I was younger, and I
Hmm.
still really love Melee a lot. And I want to be someone who does a bit of everything, like a Melee Renaissance person. I like commentating, I like TOing, I like playing. I like being able to like not limit myself to anything, but that also does mean I have to like not involve myself too heavily in any given role. Um, but I think I've found a very good balance for that in my current life state. And I don't really like there are people who like I respect, but there's nobody really I'm aspiring to be in their position, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally, totally. I guess like, is there? I know the way you described it. You TO because you want these things to happen. Is there any like tournament that like you would eagerly volunteer for to TO if it was like at risk or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. If pretty much any of the ones I go to, if like they were like you have to be the one who runs this now, I would. Like I think that's like that to me that's been demonstrated like I have taken over multiple locals now. Um
Yeah, you also TO Riverside Riot, right?
yeah, Frankie is a little more involved in that one. Kind of they wanted it more than I did. So I kind of let them take over a lot of the responsibilities, but I still do a lot of the equipment and setup. Um and yeah, so and especially at the beginning, we were more co-equal partners in that one. And then I also was heavily involved in TOing. We had a short-lived local in one of the southern suburbs at Game Together MKE that I ran for a while. And I think like ultimately like if like out of the blue or like mid lane or whatever, like even a Chicago tournament, like if they were under threat and for some reason every single person in the line of succession was disabled in some way, I would do it. Like it's not I don't
Wow.
think I would have to there's no world in which I would have to do that, but I would if I had to.
Yeah, if the CLM TO private jet goes down,
Yeah, yeah.
then
If
you're on the
absolutely
horn.
everyone, yeah, if absolutely everyone that like it's like 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 I don't remember the actual line of succession, but like I'm the Secretary of Agriculture,
Yeah.
and everyone dies. I'll be right there. Like I will take the job and I will make it happen. But ideally that doesn't happen because I like playing in Chicago locals a lot. And it also wouldn't. It's not really my place. But if I had to, I would. And
Yeah.
basically any of the locals that I go to, if I had to, I would.
For the love of the scene.
Yeah, because just that's exactly the same thing as before. I want it to happen, and if the only
Right.
way that it happens is I do it, then so be it. Right now it's more if I'm at the local, I just try to make the TO's life easier.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. I know you have like a lot of experience in this Milwaukee, Chicago kind of scene, but if there was another local scene that you had to play in, which would you choose?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think I'm uniquely I think in outside of the Northeast, there's very few scenes that are as that it is as easy to be kind of have dual citizenship in as these
Hmm.
two. Um so like that's really tough, but I have been around the Midwest a good bit. The scene that I'm probably the most familiar with other than these two is Minnesota. And I have a lot of people that I love there, so that's a pretty like easy go-to answer. But I really like Kansas City Melee. They have a lot of cool people down there. St. Louis Melee is pretty cool. Uh, Honestly, yeah, my answer is probably Minnesota or Kansas City. I went to a couple New England Melee tournaments when I was on vacation there a while ago, and that was pretty cool. So that would be cool too. Colorado is really wonderful.
Oh,
I've been meaning to make
surprising.
it out. I've been meaning to make it out there. I have a lot of friends from that scene. But the easiest answer is probably Minnesota.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So one thing I was kind of curious about too, a little bit shifting gears here, is that you're ranked in both PM and Melee. What is it like preparing for like being ranked in either like those, and like how is it different? Because
Well,
I've never played PM. I mean, I've never played
okay,
either game,
yeah,
but
this is the thing. Melee and PM are about as similar as two games can be.
okay.
Uh, and also at the same time extremely different. Um, most people who play both games have play different characters in both of them. Uh, I play my main character from both games in both games. So
Oh, okay.
it's pretty easy for me to switch between them. Um, the main thing I would say that's different about being a player of Melee versus a player of PM is that playing PM is a lot of knowledge. It's more about knowing things about the game than it is about like attempting to beat the player in front of you, because the general level of play is much lower. But there's also way more stuff in the game. So the PM is a whole lot about like knowing not only like what does my opponent's character do, but what does my character do, and how do those two things interact. Whereas Melee is a lot of like I'm playing the same 11 matchups, and realistically most of the time like 4 or 5 matchups, most brackets. So it's more about how well do I know these matchups, and then how skilled am I? How skilled am I compared to my opponent? How good am I at understanding what they want to do, how they play? It's a lot more player to player in Melee because there's a lot less matchups to learn, and there's a lot less things to know. So you get to know a lot more about the matchups you are playing, like at a much more granular level. So like I'm only playing like 11 matchups, but those matchups are so much more explored and so much deeper than the PM matchups I'm playing. Unless of course I'm playing the PM matchups that are almost the same as the Melee matchups. But the Melee in theory PM could be even more complicated than Melee, but there aren't enough players, and the players aren't good enough.
Okay.
So the practice tools are just not as developed. So the game is a lot more about kind of like hitting your opponent with a gotcha, kind of under like like hitting them with something they're not ready for. Whereas Melee is a whole lot more about like playing the game to its theoretical, like to kind of the extent of what you are capable of on the theoretical plane that we all kind of share, because the matchups are lesser, and they've also been explored far heavier and for far longer.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot
Also,
of
the
sense.
design of the characters in Melee is a lot more encouraging of using the fundamental skills of the game. Whereas in PM, a lot of the characters have crazy gimmicks. So in like in PM again, it's like, do you understand like what to do about the gimmick? Versus in Melee, it's like, okay, we understand what's going on. It's time to play a mental game of like who is better at this. I could go a lot further into it. If it isn't obvious, I don't really enjoy the design of PM. But I've played it for so long, and I have so many friends that play it that I kind of just keep going.
Yeah, is the PM scene just as big in Milwaukee, or is it?
Yeah, it was bigger for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
PM in Milwaukee. So for about 4 months in 2023, Wisconsin was the best PM region in the world.
Wow.
We had a top 5 player, two top 20 to 30 players, a couple like 4 top 50 level players. And we were getting like 35 entrants a week at our weekly. Which made us the largest and the best PM scene for that 4-month gap. But generally PM is smaller than Melee in Milwaukee, especially nowadays. But back then, there have been points, especially in like the 2014 era. Because if you know anything about the history of PM, before
Not that much, yeah.
basically
Go for it.
the Nintendo kind of killed the game in 2015. Like they sent a letter to the development team and said, "Hey, stop this, cease and desist." But before that, PM was basically the game that bridged the gap between Smash 4, the Brawl community, the people who had moved on from Brawl, the people who had gotten into Smash 4, and Melee. So like everyone from all of the Smash scenes was playing this game at the same time.
Oh.
So when I started playing Melee, Construct got like 40 Melee entrants a week, which is about the size of like like your average mid lane was when it like in the past couple of years. Like you could find a 20-person scene in like Stevens Point, Wisconsin, which has like a population of like 50,000 people. The game was everywhere, and everybody was playing. All the Melee players were playing Project M, and all the Smash 4 players were playing Project M. So Project M was just the biggest game until the dev got shut down, and then it crashed and burned. So besides that, for Milwaukee specifically, besides that one zone in 2023 and that one time in 2014, PM is much smaller than Melee. But there have been times where the scene has been bigger than Melee. And a lot of that road of both of the times that was the case, it was because almost every Melee player also played PM. That 2023 zone was basically all of our Melee players got into PM at the same time because we were all so good at Melee. We were all so good at PM. Our scene was so good that everyone wanted to try to play in it. And so for that period of time that everyone was playing, basically everybody who would show up to a local was entering PM, which was pretty cool. It was a very cool time to be playing the game.
Yeah, that does sound nice. Like to have so much hype around the game that you all are playing.
Yeah.
Do you have any like highest highs or lowest lows in chasing like PR in your in your illustrious career?
Okay, I can give you my lowest low for sure. So I am 27. I'm turning 28 in 1 month.
Oh my gosh, happy early birthday.
Yay. The next construct is actually on my birthday. So if people want to show up to that, that would be cool. It's on July 12th.
Birthday party. I love.
But my 21st birthday, which is supposed to be you're supposed to like go out with your friends and like go to a bar,
Yeah.
or 3, or 5.
21 shots.
Yeah. I listened. My girlfriend at the time really wanted to go to Tri-Point Smash, and I was like, sure. And so I didn't go out with my friends to drink, and I instead went 0-2, losing to King DDD and Marth, and then sat on a curb outside the venue and just like with my head in my hands for an hour. So that was my 21st birthday. That's the lowest low for sure. And then highest high is like difficult to, I don't know, for highest highs, like if we're talking about like chasing rank, like being a competitor, doing well at regionals and like doing well in like teams with my partner Danny Phantom, my team's partner Danny Phantom, have been really fun. Like I don't know, just like the reason I keep playing the game is like the low lows hurt, but the high highs, like that's like the best feeling in the world to me. So like getting top 8 at a Midwest regional, or like I got top 8 at the last Bot.me, which was really cool. I won teams at the last Bot.me. Me and Danny have gotten like top 2 in the last like 4 or 5 Midwest regionals we've entered. Beating Chris O'Reilly for the first time after losing like 60 to 80 straight sets was really cool.
Whoa.
And then like going on a 15 win streak on him was really nice, but now he's got my number again. I don't know, there's a lot of if we're talking about just like highs as like a tournament attendee, like Riptide every year is just like the craziest experience. And
what do you like so much about Riptide?
Just debauchery. Like it's just like, I don't know, the actual game is fun, but like I just like hanging out with my friends late at night. Like I don't know.
Wait, was there more debauchery at that than Smash Camp?
It's hard to compare those two, but I would call it a similar level. I would say that I get more debauched at Riptide than I did at Smash Camp, but also I'm getting older and debauchery is slightly less appealing, at least the kind where I'm like hurting my body. So perhaps that's just a transformation for me, but it's a similar vibe. Like Smash Camp and Riptide are basically just like, you know, we run around, we're up to no good. We're up late at night. Like I don't know, that kind of thing is super fun to me, especially because like the playing the game part also at 4 a.m. in the overnight venue when there's like somebody like passing around like a wine bag or whatever is like that's also just like peak. So I don't know, I just love hanging out with my friends. That's like the main reason I keep playing, but also like the peaks of competition are still very appealing to me.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome that you get like both, you know, just the community and then also the competition.
Yeah. If I didn't like the competition anymore, I would still be going to everything because I just love hanging out with my friends. But it's nice to be, it is nice to have like a productive hobby within the community. Well, like I'd say, like I said, like a few, like I commentate ITO, I play. Even at a major like Riptide, like I always end up helping out a little bit. Like I'm never not doing at least one productive task while I'm there.
Do you enjoy commentating?
Yeah, I love commentating. I'm a bit, I don't know, like I know, like I said, I used to watch Melee like an absurd amount every day. And I've played so much of it in my life. Like I know what is going on when I look at the screen. And I think one of the things I'm good at in life is being able to put things into words and explain things. So I don't know. I think I'm very good at the role I fill in commentary, which is I'm very analytical. And with the right person, I can be pretty funny. It obviously depends, but I don't know. I think I'm good at it, and I enjoy doing it, and it gets eyes on me and my scene, which I like.
Is there any like competition that you'd love to commentate, or like final set or players that you'd love to commentate for?
Oh, I mean, like, honestly, I just aiming for higher and higher level sets is really good. I am particularly proud of how I commentate Ice Climbers, because that is probably the most complicated character in the game, and it's also the character that people understand the least. So every time I get to commentate like a higher profile Ice Climbers set, I really like that.
That's so unique. I feel like people people don't like ices.
Well,
This is my impression.
People don't like Ice Climbers. You talked to Unsure a couple weeks ago. He really famously does not like them. I love Ice Climbers. One of my favorite characters in the game to watch. And one of my favorite characters in the game to play against. And also, I'm not very good at them, but one of my favorite characters in the game to play. So I'm a little unique in that, like, most people kind of hate them, and I also understand why they hate them, because I have hated them at one point in my life. But I don't know, they're just so fascinating to me. And I'm also surrounded by Ice Climbers players. Like, we have so many of them here. And Moth, the second highest ranked Ice Climbers in the world, is a good friend of mine. So I either have to, like, I don't know. It's either learn to love it or just, like, be disadvantaged socially. And it doesn't hurt that they're also extremely fun to watch and be around, for me, at least. For someone who really loves the intricacies of the game and small details, they are wonderful to think about.
Very cool. That leaves me with a better impression of Ices than I initially had.
Yeah, I will say they are pretty unfun to play against in some ways, but I also think a lot of people who think that way just don't really understand what's going on, or understand the strategic angle of, like, how certain things work based on positioning. But that's a little too granular to get into.
No, that's great. I've been looking at the Brawl character list, and I've been looking at the Melee character list, and you mentioned that you play the same character in both games, correct?
I do.
Okay, so it has to be like, I mean, there's a lot of overlapping characters, unfortunately. This doesn't narrow it down terribly.
Can I give you one hint?
Yeah.
I play a very good character.
You play a very good character? Okay. So you're okay. It could be like a Falco or a Fox. What other good characters are in both? Probably not a Yoshi. Definitely not a Bowser. Probably not a Mario and Luigi.
Definitely not Bowser. I hate that guy.
Probably a Peach. No, probably not Peach. Probably not. Is Samus competitive? I'm not sure.
Samus is not very good in PM.
Okay.
But is fairly okay in Melee.
Okay. I don't think I'm not getting Samus from you. I want to say my final guess, I'm going to lock this in, is Falco.
Actually,
no.
Falco is the character I hate the most.
No! Okay, so then are you Fox?
Yes, I'm a Fox man.
Okay. I don't know how I knew that. That matchup was bad or something, but like...
No, it's like... people debate on, like, who wins it. It's probably even. I just hate it. I despise Falco. The biggest thing there is that Falco is not, like, amazingly good in PM.
Oh, why is that?
He's just, like, he's too hard. Like, they nerfed him in a couple really key ways, and also a lot more characters in the game have tools that are just capable of deleting him instantly. So he's a lot more, he is very good in Melee, super good in Melee, but he's like the mid-tier character in PM. He's like around 20th.
What informed your decision to do the exact same character in both games?
That's a good question. So the reason I started playing PM was that when I was playing it in the basement of my like school, is that somebody just brought it one time, and I played it, and I was like, oh, this is exactly the same game. Which it if you play it and you just play the same characters that you are learning in Melee, it is the same game. It's like exactly the same game. So at the time I was playing Marth, and I would just play Marth and PM. And to me, just the two games were not different. Well, for the longest time. Like, I didn't treat Project M and Melee as two different games for, like, the first 2 or 3 years of me playing both of them. So I just played the character that I played, which was Fox. And eventually I became probably the most, well, because, like, the things that are different about PM, I am, like, the thing I'm known for in PM is being the PM exclusive Fox tech person.
Oh.
So, like, I invented a lot of PM specific tech for the character. I explored a lot of PM specific tech for the character. And I don't know, to me, I'll phrase it like this. I play PM because it is like Melee. I don't play Melee and PM because I like both of them. I play PM because I like Melee. And that's why I kind of don't like a lot of the design of PM, because I think that there are a lot of things about Melee about Melee's metagame that are a lot more compelling to me.
Yeah.
But the actual way the game plays is the same. So that's, like, I can have fun doing that just because I love the engine.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jisp. Is there anything you want to plug? Like, those are all my questions that I had. This has been great talking to you. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope you had a good time too.
I did.
But
I had
yeah.
a wonderful time.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. That makes my heart so happy.
Big things
but yeah, plug away.
Big things to plug. Yeah, I don't know. Just, like, go to Emporium on July 1st. Please go. I mean, it's capped already, but, like, go to the ones after that. I think, I don't know, Ashley kind of talked about this. Milwaukee and Chicago used to have a lot more of a symbiotic relationship. And nowadays it's a little more one-sided, with Milwaukee coming to Chicago a lot more than Chicago comes to Milwaukee. I would like to see our two scenes interact more. On the internet, in person, just like, I would like to see Chicago people come to Milwaukee locals. I would like to see Milwaukee people go to Chicago locals more often. So the big thing is, the next construct is on July 12th. That's my birthday. We're running multi-game cruise, which is Melee and PM cruise, where you counterpick the game. If you know anything about the cruise format, it's basically just like you have a set amount of stocks. There's, like, a team of people, and you have to, like, eliminate all of them. And yeah, it'll be a good time. Construct X is in August. Right now, the date is the 16th, I believe. But that might change because it currently conflicts with Fillerfest. So keep an eye out for that. That one will have a pretty sizable pop bonus for every game. Yeah, just, I don't know, come to Milwaukee locals. I've been going to your locals for years now. That's
They
about
owe
it.
you.
They don't. Nobody owes me anything, but it really would be nice. Like,
Little birthday surprise. Little
yeah,
birthday present.
for my birthday especially, it would be nice to just see my friends there, and
Oh.
most people are planning on going, so
Okay,
that
good.
is nice. But July 12th, and then a date in August for a big construct. Look out for those two things. And then C3, obviously it's kind of expensive, but that's also coming up in August. So watch out for those things Milwaukee wise. And just, like, I don't know. That's all I have to plug.
Awesome. Well, we do have one chat question, which is, what do you really think about net play tournaments?
Oh, I hate them. Yeah, I despise netplay tournaments. I think this interview show is awesome.
Oh,
I have enjoyed this so much, like being someone who like tunes in and listens every week. I think it's very cool to see you interact with all the people in CLM. I like learning more about the people in CLM. Uh, I hate net play tournaments. And I don't think they should count for PR, but it is what it is. Uh, but that's it's ultimately it's a children's GameCube game, and the ping is pretty low, so it doesn't actually matter. But that's just that's my real thoughts. Net play's not real. Uh, but yeah, I especially before it counted for PR, I thought this was the coolest idea ever. Um,
aw,
and
I
I
love
still
that.
think I am sad that this interview show is going by the wayside, and I hope something like it will continue eventually.
Well, yeah, I don't know how many weeks I can do this and still be
Yeah,
confused.
yeah. That's the problem. I mean, we've got one more coming up. Everybody should tune into that one, because that's kind of the last hurrah for the show. And that'll be next week, right?
Yeah, that'll be next week, Botlane episode 12. But Nicolette's got a lot of things up her sleeve, and you never know what may or may not happen in
I
the future.
see. I see.
A teaser for those of you who are listening to the very end of this podcast today. Something
All right.
exciting maybe is brewing. But anyways, thank you so much, Jisp. This has been an absolute pleasure. It's been so great talking to you tonight, and thank you so much for your time and all your energy.
Of course. Thank you so much, Tori.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me check with Nicolette to see if we have comms lined up. We do not.
We don't even have a game.
We don't even have a game lined up. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's rough to commentate for sure if we don't have a game lined up. What's wait, are we done? They're just not broadcasting? Okay. Well, I guess that's where we ended today then. Your stream's still continuing though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the stream's still gonna continue, but this is the awkward end of our podcast. So thanks for tuning in, y'all, to the podcast portion of the Botlane show.
It's a wonderful thing. Did the tournament just end? Like, is it over?
I think they're just not broadcasting, but the tournament's still continuing.
Okay.
Yes, I'm getting a head shake or a head nod from Nicolette that is the case. So is the stream ending or no? All right. All right, stream's not going to end.
Well, very interesting.
All right. Yeah, net play tournaments are kind of mixed bag.
Yeah. If I speak.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We have losers finals off stream. All right.
I suppose
Take
that's it
care,
for us.
y'all.
Yeah. Take care,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
you